of St. James the Less in Scarsdale and member of the Reparations Committee. I rise to move the resolution on page 63 of the calendar of business. At this time, I ask that you recognize Diane Pollard, member of the Reparations Committee, who submitted the resolution on behalf of the committee.
Yes, Diane.
Good afternoon. It is my privilege and honor to urge the passage of this resolution. In 2006, Bishop Marxis appointed a task force on reparations. Our task force later was reconstituted as an official diocesan committee, and we as a diocese have engaged in numerous opportunities for engagement, with many more to come. During the past year, one of our projects has been the unearthing of this resolution, proposed by John Jay in 1860. I urge the passage of this resolution so that we as a diocese can move the needle ever more closely to the acknowledgement of our past actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. People understand that when a motion is tabled, it does not go away. It just waits. It waits until some time when the convention will take it back off of the table and act on it. It's been 159 years that John Jay's resolution has lain on the table, waiting for a convention with greater courage. Is there more discussion of this resolution? Then all in favor of the passage of this resolution? Oh yes, Stephen.
Stephen Bolton, unaffiliated right now. I want to remind the convention of the many things that we are doing when we vote to take this off the table. And I think the very first thing we are doing is, at the very least, questioning the appeal to rules and procedures to make something go away. None of those people in the debate actually said that they were for or against slavery. None of them, frankly, had the courage to make themselves clear. They took the easy way out of appealing to regulations and procedures, and had it been seconded, and had it been debated, and had it been introduced properly in order not to deal with it. And so ideally, when we vote to take this off the table, we vote to take many things off the table. To face our circumstances with clarity and the love of Christ and of each other, and embrace that responsibility, rather than simply to take that easy way out of procedure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor of the passage of this resolution? I'm sorry?
The Reverend Nigel Massey, the rector of the French Church of Saint-Esprit, founded by John Jay's refugee ancestors, and the chaplain of the Huguenot Society of America, the society that was founded, in fact, by the same John Jay that we have, whose words we've just heard. I rise in support of the motion. I also believe that if John Jay was here today, he'd want us to continue to be uncomfortable. And I hope our memory of him will keep us uncomfortable about the work that we still have to do. His story has inspired us at Saint-Esprit to look at our own complicity in the slave trade and to tell our story in a different way, and to begin to look at the question of costly reparations for the damage that has been done by the tabling of this resolution and by our inability to face up to the consequences of slavery and exploitation of others, even if in our own day. So I rise in support of the resolution.
Thank you, Nigel.
Liz Maxwell, rector of the Church of the Ascension, somewhat appalled to hear of the part played by our delegate in 1860. I actually do have a procedural question. It would be my understanding that our first vote must be to take it off the table, and then we must vote on the resolution. Is that correct?
I'm going to ask Matt about that. Matt?
That's right. Take off the table with
Thank you. We have a motion that has been made and seconded, but this must be done first. Is there a motion to take John Jay's resolution off the table? Is it seconded?
She's Meredith's.
All in favor, raise your green cards. Are there any red cards? Thank you. Are we ready to vote on the resolution itself? Yes? Oh, okay. All in favor of the passage of the John Jay resolution, please raise your green cards. Are there any red cards? People may question or debate or wonder about the efficacy of doing this 159 years later. The African slave trade is over in America, has been for a long time. But I want to point out that by passing this resolution, we've also committed ourselves to the content of the resolution. It calls upon the Bishop of New York to compose and publish a letter to the churches of the diocese. And I will do that before the end of the year. Not to make an historical reference to what was or wasn't done in 1860, but to call us to the same attention in the worldwide market and trafficking of human beings today and in our city, as John Jay sought to do to the worldwide traffic of people of African descent in slavery in the United States. So I will do that. The second provision of the resolution calls upon all the clergy of the diocese to engage that same question in your parishes. So I think that having done this, we will now give some guidance and direction to churches on how to live into this resolution and to do those things in our day that John Jay called for in his day, that this does not simply become a symbolic affirmation of something that somebody old enough to be our great-great-great-grandfather did in a time long ago. That we will make this ours in our own day and do something worthwhile with it. I thank this convention for what we just did, and I thank the Reparations Committee and those who put the dramatization together for bringing it before us in this way. Thank you. I now call upon the Reverend Stephen Girth, Chair of the Canons Commission, to give us the report from that committee.